Yesterday, a girl messaged me and asked about my job in Malaysia because she was planning to go to this country for a job opportunity too. So she asked me the year that I went to that country, the first company that I worked for, and then I remember the last question was, did I feel scared when I went to Malaysia because her family doesn't want to let her go. They are very worried about her, and this is so relatable. So I first thought about going to Malaysia in 2017 because I had some uni friends who worked there, and they usually posted their pictures when they were on vacations, and I feel like they got really good work-life balance there, and so I started to think about it. I started to search for job opportunities online, but the kind of job that was available at that time was content review mostly. And then I also had an old colleague who went there and did that job. And so when she came back to Vietnam, I asked for her review about it, and then she told me that she worked there for 1 year and she thought it was not something for her. So that's why she decided to go back to Vietnam. And she said that the job was quite demanding in the sense that you had to work night shift, and it really messed up with your health, especially for women. And then the job was it was easy actually. You just need to read the policy and then filter the content on social media, but the content was toxic, and so at times you would have to be exposed to violent content, something like that, and it was quite scary. And then I waited for other opportunities for all the job titles, like until I got a phone call from Saigon. That was the first company that I worked for. I didn't even know like how they found my CV because at that time I just uploaded my CV on several recruitment websites like Indeed or JobStreet. Yeah, so I guess they found my CV there, and so like a Vietnamese HR specialist from that company contacted me and offered that job opportunity, and she like arranged an appointment, like a meeting schedule for me, and like an interview with me. And so everything went well, but to be honest, I was not so sure about my decision at that time. Like people around me were not really supportive because my parents didn't want to let me go. They didn't even know where Malaysia was. I mean, around me there were a lot of people going abroad, but it was like under export labor program, or they went there to get married and settle down. And the countries that people around me went to were countries like America, Canada, yeah, those developed countries, and none of them heard a lot about Malaysia. So that's why my parents were worried sick about my decision. And then at that time, my sister traveled to Malaysia, and she didn't have like a lot of good experiences there, so she was not supportive either. And then the first project that I had an interview with, the project that I was going to work for was about Bitcoin, and so at that time I was working for an English center run by a Korean man, and I did a very good job there, and he was thinking about giving me a promotion. So when he heard that I was going to quit and relocate to Malaysia, he was pretty upset about it. So one day he called me in his office, and then he talked with me. He asked me about the job that I was taking in Malaysia, and when I told him that it was about Bitcoin, he was pretty concerned. He said that Bitcoin was still something very new, and it's not something stable. So, and then he asked me to reconsider it, like to do proper research before I made my decision. Yeah. So I think just one or two people around me actually supported me to go to Malaysia, and I was really scared as well as an introvert. I just don't feel comfortable going out alone, not let alone like go to another country by myself. So I had a lot of like sleepless night before my flight to Malaysia. But you need to, when you are about to make a decision, you need to consider the pros and cons, what you need at that moment. Is it worth your sacrifice? So for me, the opportunity to go to another country is not much. It's pretty rare because like I'm not academically excellent. Like I'm not good enough to get a full scholarship to study abroad. When I was at university, studying abroad was my biggest dream, but my family couldn't afford for my study, and so when I graduated, I also thought about going to another country to work, but there was no way for me to do so. I was like not physically strong to do manual work under the export labor program, and I was not working in some hot and trendy fields like IT or engineer. So at that time, I almost thought that there was no way that I could step out of Vietnam. But then Malaysia came, and then it was very valuable to me. I knew that this is not something that happened every day. So I decided to grab that opportunity, and yeah, just went with the flow, to see what life has to offer me. So yeah, I think like whenever you go to another country, whether to work, to study, or to settle down, there will be a lot of like worries and concerns because you step into the unknown. But so I think what you should do is you should know the reasons why you want to go, what you are willing to sacrifice. So to you, is it important to explore other cultures, to try new lifestyle, to travel, to meet new people, to learn how to live on your own? And are you willing to trade those things for your stable life in Vietnam, your salary, the current salary that you have in Vietnam, and then your friends and family, your comfort zone? So if you are willing to trade, then just go and explore to see what life has to offer.